Macklin Celebrini is a generational talent, and at only 20 years old, he has completely captivated the entire NHL. But he didn't just come from nowhere. There's been a constant theme that has followed him his entire career. And yes, he is a very God-given, gifted, natural talent, but this theme has brought him to where he is, and where he is now is signing a 5-year contract extension that kicks in the 27-28 season, where he will become the highest paid player in the NHL with an annual average salary of $18.8 million. Unbelievable, worth every penny. But there is a long background of Macklin Celebrini because he didn't just poof appear in the NHL one day. And a lot of you guys have mentioned that you really didn't know that much about his background, especially his time in juniors, which really kicked off where things are now. And as his former media relations coordinator in juniors, I figured there's probably no one more qualified to talk about that time than myself. But before I get too into it, I just want to remind you guys that we're still on Twitter and our handle's still at Sharks Digest. And we're still there to give you the latest news, trades, reports, and rumors about the San Jose Sharks. We can't always hop on a video, but we can always send out a tweet. And it's another way to talk to you guys, so give us a follow and a shout at Sharks Digest on Twitter. Well, let's back up to the 2022-2023 season when Macklin Celebrini and I were running around with the Chicago Steel. I want to start with the season because it's really, really relevant. He was coming across a lot of people that he is still coming across in his life. In this season, in 50 games played, he had 86 points, a league-leading 86 points. And of those 86 points, another USHL leading 46 goals. He also had 40 assists and was a plus 27. Yes, he was a golden child even back then. A lot of my job this season was wrangling the team, specifically the golden child. For context, too, the USHL season's about 62 games. He only played 50, and he still won Forward of the Week 6 times. It became a recurring joke between me and the media relations coordinator for the league that it was the Macklin Celebrini of the week. He actually broke a Chicago Steel franchise record by becoming the first player in franchise history to score 5 goals in a single game. And it was against the USNTDP U17 team with James Hagens, 2026 Hobie Baker winner Max Plant, and Cole Iserman. It's safe to say that I had that Forward of the Week release written by the end of the game, a whole 2 days early. So it wasn't surprising at the end of the season when he became the first player in USHL history to sweep the titles of Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Forward of the Year. He was only 16 years old when this was all happening, but he handled this adjustment incredibly. In the beginning of this season, too, I've mentioned it before, he played for Canada Black in the World Hockey Challenge, where he was actually on the same team as, again, the connections are starting now, as his current San Jose Sharks teammate, Sam Dickinson. They were on the same team together. And then at the end of the season, he actually went to represent Canada again in Switzerland in the U18 World Championship. And he won bronze there, was named top 3 player on his team because in 7 games played, he had 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists. He was not thrilled about going to that little tournament there because the Steel were in the playoffs and he missed that first round and he ended up coming back hurt. But it was okay. It was fine. But he was amazing this season. He shattered the USHL U17 scoring record previously held by former Gopher Taylor Camarada with 69 points. He had 86 points in 50 games. So because he was so incredible, it is not surprising, and I've mentioned this a lot of times, that Eric Polkamp and the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders and a lot of other teams used to take every opportunity to wail on him because he's hard to defend against when he's that good. And I promised in my last video I'd tell this story, and I love telling this story. So there was one game against Eric Polkamp and the Rough Riders, and like every single game against Eric Polkamp and the Rough Riders, it was an absolute battle. Not the prettiest win, but they came out on top. I'm actually pretty sure that was the game where Macklin scored one of the craziest goals I've ever seen him score. But so I was bringing him up for an interview after the game, and he was just venting to me saying he really didn't like playing this team. I asked him why, and he looked at me and he said, "Did you not watch the game? They beat the snot out of me every chance they get." It was a little more colorful than that, but he said that. He was doing a lot of that. He made Macklin Celebrini his personal punching bag. But I looked Macklin in the eye and I said, cry about it. I use that phrase quite a lot with him. But I told him to cry about it. I said, look what happened to Connor McDavid when he first got to the NHL. People didn't know how to defend against him, but they needed to find a way to get the puck off his stick, so they just threw the body at him every chance they got. I told him, get used to it or you're not going to make it, because otherwise it's not going to work out for you, because people are going to keep doing that to you. They're not going to know how to defend against someone that's as good as you are. And until they figure it out, they're just going to keep throwing the body at you. And Eric Polkamp was a big part of that. And I'm sure Macklin now is very happy that they will be on the same side of the ice wearing the same sweater. But Macklin just pouted for a second and then looked at me and said, you know what, you're right. And nothing bothers this kid now. I'd like to think that I am part of that. But he was so fantastic that season. However, there was some competition going on, because his Chicago Steel teammate and future Boston University teammate, Jack Harvey, was battling with him the entire season for both the USHL's point and goal leader. He actually held the title for a good amount of time. They said that there was no competition between them, but I don't buy it. I believe they were fully aware of them going back and forth. He finished second, Mac finished first. But the Chicago Steel as a whole was really, really well known for being just an absolute elite organization. And a big part of that is this man in the corner right here, Jake Nitschke, their strength and conditioning coach. Here he is with Macklin, when Macklin was just 15 years old, visiting as a prospect. But the Steel was really well known to spend a lot of time in the weight room working out. They were in incredible condition, best condition in the league because of Jake Nitschke. And what's really funny about this is, back when the season was still going on, it feels like forever ago, but back when we were getting ready to play the Buffalo Sabres, Sabres head coach Lindy Ruff said Macklin Celebrini is really scary. And what's really funny about that is Lindy Ruff hired the man that made him scary. Lindy Ruff hired Jake Nitschke. He is now their strength and conditioning coach. But he helped build Macklin. And again, he was only 16, but a big part of this is his work ethic. Chicago Steel's head coach at the time, Mike Garman, said his work ethic is relentless. He gets better every single week. His former teammate on the Steel, now Harvard's point leader, Mick Thompson, said his work ethic is contagious. He makes everyone around him better. And we continue to see that. And we will always see that. But let's get to the next season, where he joined Boston University and reunited with Jack Harvey. But he was, again, outstanding this season for BU. In 38 games played, he had 64 points, 32 goals, 32 assists. He was only 17 years old when he was doing this, and he won the Hobey Baker, became the youngest player to ever win at 17 years old. Jack Eichel was 17 when he won, but Macklin's a couple of months younger than him, so Mac Celebrini is the youngest player ever to win the Hobey Baker, best player in college hockey, because he was outstanding this season. Are you ready for all of the recognitions and awards he racked up this season? Are you ready for this? Because there's quite a lot. He was the NCAA East first All-American team. That's a little confusing because, yes, he's Canadian. He represented Canada quite a few times already in those 2 years that I just covered. But that's not based on their nationality. It's actually based on where their college is. However, little known fact about Macklin, he actually does have a dual citizenship. So do with what you want with that information. But not based on nationality, but he was named to the NCAA East first All-American team. He was named the Hockey East All-Rookie team, All-Tournament team, first All-Star, Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Scoring Champion. He was the New England Rookie of the Year, named to the All-Star team, the USHO First Team Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. He won the Tim Taylor Award, which is the NCAA Top Collegiate Rookie. He was so good. He represented Canada again in the World Junior Championship, U20 this time, where he was again named top 3 player on the team. He had 8 points in 5 games played, 4 goals, 4 assists. So, not surprising in the slightest. I was calling it back when he was with the Chicago Steel, but not surprising in the slightest that in the 2024 draft, the San Jose Sharks picked him first overall. I love this picture. I love Joe Thornton, but future landlord. And just fast forwarding a little bit to this season, Mac broke Joe Thornton's single-season franchise point record with 115 points. That was 45 goals, 70 assists. He was absolutely outstanding. Last year with the Sharks, he had 63 points in 70 games played, 25 goals, 38 assists. He was named to the NHL All-Rookie team, and he was a Calder finalist. Represented Canada in the World Championship that summer, where he had 6 points in 8 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. He was a +9. And then this year, again, 115 points in those 82 games played. He played the whole season, but he very impressively was named to Canada's Olympic team. He is the youngest player in Olympic history with NHL participation to ever represent Canada. Here he is kind of salty about winning a silver medal, or if you want to call it losing gold. But he was really great in this Olympics. He had 10 points in 6 games played, 5 goals, 5 assists. He was named to the Olympic All-Stars, and he had the most goals. He really, really stepped up for Sidney Crosby when he went down. And we all know Sidney Crosby and him are really great together. They have just this really great dynamic. But Sidney Crosby got hurt, and he stepped up for him. He was fantastic. Really held the pressure really nicely. So then this summer, when the World Championship rolled around, they gave him the C, and Sidney Crosby was part of that decision. It was a team-wide vote, and they all agreed he deserved it, and he showed he can handle this pressure. In 10 games played, he had 14 points, 6 goals, 8 assists. He was a +13. He was named again to the All-Star team, named the best forward, and had most points by a U20. Outstanding. Macklin Celebrini, the player you are. But it has been so fun to watch this work ethic just continue to grow. When he was with Boston University, his head coach said that he never takes a shift off. He never gives any player an inch, even in practice. Everything is on purpose. He's on the ice, going to the gym just to get better. It never stops. Again, with the Chicago Steel, his head coach said he is relentless. And now, with the San Jose Sharks, this is honestly one of my favorite head coach Ryan Warsofsky quotes. He said, "You know who the fittest person in the preseason was? Mac. You know who plays every single practice like it's the last practice he's ever going to get to do? Mac. You know who competes in every game like it's the last game he'll ever play? Mac." So that theme I was talking about is his relentless work ethic. And relentless doesn't seem like a strong enough word. It got him the Hobie Baker at 17 years old. It got him drafted first overall. It got him the C for Canada. Made an Olympic appearance and silver medal. It never stops for Macklin Celebrini. And it's just going to keep going. And it is so fun. And it's just so rewarding to see this work ethic have such amazing outcomes. And of course, I have to mention it, Ivar Stenberg is coming in, and he's going to be so fun with Macklin, especially because Ivar also has a really, really strong work ethic. So the two of them together is just going to make the rest of the team even better. So let me know what you guys think. I was really happy I got to do a very long video about Macklin and his background because, again, he does have God-given talent. But what makes him stand out and makes him so special and so good is how hard he works and how he will never, ever stop trying. He takes everything so seriously. I have said it before, he has never had an ounce of chill. And I am so proud of the player he has become and the player he continues to grow into. And again, the way that he's interacted with all these people in the past and the way they continue to play into his life is so interesting and fun to watch. He is such a special person and player, and it is so incredible to have him on this team, leading the NHL into a new era. And I can't wait to see a C on his chest because that freaking better happen this season. I am so excited though. Go Sharks!